Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
After a week of deliberating, a Winnebago County judge issues a decision in the triple murder case against a Rockford man. Raheem King finds out if he'll be a free man or headed to prison.
A state line man known best for his performances as the nation's 16th president is in the Stephenson County Jail. We'll tell you what landed him there.
And thousands across the nation march on Washington. We spoke with one woman from Illinois. The message she hopes will spark Congress to take action on police reform. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson.
The verdict is in for a Rockford man accused in a deadly triple shooting on board a party bus.
A judge found Raheem King guilty on several charges, including murder and armed robbery. The shooting happened in April 2018. King testified in his own defense. He argued two of the victims pointed guns at him and he shot them in self-defense. Prosecutors countered King planned on executing the men.
We believe it was a very fair and just verdict. It was clear from the judge's ruling. She had taken a lot of time in consideration of all of the facts and evidence presented, weighed it carefully, and we believe it was a fair verdict.
King is due back in court October 29th.
A well-known Abraham Lincoln impersonator is accused of committing sex crimes. Stephenson County Sheriff's deputies arrested George Buss this morning. He's charged with child pornography and patronizing a prostitute. Buss is known for his performances as Lincoln. For more than 30 years, he's played the former president in local schools and even on the national stage. Dixon police arrest a 23-year-old Miguel Garcia. According to court records, he's charged with 2 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse of a victim at least 5 years younger. Garcia is due in court September 2nd.
The teenager accused in the deadly Kenosha shootings won't be transferred to a Wisconsin jail for now. A Lake County judge postponed Kyle Rittenhouse's extradition hearing. The 17-year-old asked for more time to meet with his attorney. It was reported yesterday Rittenhouse hired the same firm that represented Rudy Giuliani during the former New York mayor's legal issues involving Ukraine and presidential candidate Joe Biden. The extradition hearing has been moved to September 25th. Rittenhouse is charged with homicide for the shooting deaths of 2 people. He faces attempted homicide for a 3rd victim. Thousands of people brave the heat and pandemic to fight for racial justice.
Today's March on Washington is 57 years to the day since Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech. Raquel Martin is keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
Enough is enough. No justice.
In the middle of a pandemic, thousands flooded the nation's capital to fight another crisis they say is plaguing Black America.
We will speak against the looting, but when will you speak against wrong police shooting?
On the 57th anniversary of the March on Washington, demonstrators demanded change and called for Martin Luther King's dream of racial equality and justice to be realized.
Finally, we're having a voice.
Austin Williams traveled from Des Moines, Iowa to speak out.
We are tired.
Dion Burney came from Ohio. Her son died in a dispute with police 3 years ago after he attempted to flee an arrest.
I don't have a child. That was my only child.
Emotionally, it is a strain on all of us.
Naomi Hall from Chicago brought her 2 sons to protect them from a similar fate.
We stand up together as one, and hopefully we will change the laws that need to be changed so my son can grow.
Organizers called today's event "Get Your Knees Off Our Necks." In the wake of the death of George Floyd, people say racial injustice can no longer be glossed over. The father of Jacob Blake, whose shooting this week reignited nationwide protests, joined a slate of victim families demanding change.
I ask everyone to stand up for George, for Breonna, for Ahmaud. No justice, no peace.
In Washington, Raquel Martin.
Organizers say they hope this march pushes Congress to finally take action. It's been roughly 2 months since they attempted to pass federal police reform.
30 Illinois counties are now at warning levels for COVID-19. That means the numbers are up. 2 counties in northern Illinois are on that list, Carroll and Joe Davis. The state reports another 2,100 cases of coronavirus. As of last night, 1,500 people were reported to be in the hospital. That's down from yesterday. The state's also announcing another 20 deaths, bringing the total to nearly 8,000. More than 1 million voters across Illinois have requested vote-by-mail ballots. Eyewitness News is your local election headquarters. That number doesn't include ballot applications automatically sent out to anyone who voted in the last 3 elections. To put that into context, Illinois set a record 430,000 votes cast by mail in 2018. Ballots will be mailed out to applicants September 24th, which is also the same day early voting begins. We reached out to our local election clerks to find out how many in the state line applied for vote-by-mail ballots. Here's what we found out. The city of Rockford sent out more than 13,000. Winnebago County did 10,000, and Ogle sent 5,200. Head to our website, mystateline.com, for a complete breakdown of our state line counties. In an emergency, every second counts.
On a farm where a hospital can be dozens of miles away, that emergency can be even more dangerous. Dylan Saraki spent the day on a farm as local nursing students prepare for the worst.
Experts say even if these students don't end up working in rural communities, learning about farm safety and the best way to provide treatment for any injury is invaluable. More than 30 St. Anthony College of Nursing students spent the day getting hands-on farm safety training.
Even though Rockford may not be considered a farming community, that's the trauma centers. That's where they are taken. If there's a grain bin rescue or any major trauma, they need to go to these big centers that are in Rockford and Madison and so forth.
Students simulated a grain bin rescue and learned about the most common injuries farmers sustain and how to treat them.
There's not one farmer that goes on his day to say, I'm going to be unsafe today. Accidents truly are just that, they're an accident.
Karen Dobb-Larson has spent almost 3 decades as a life flight nurse with OSF. She says the more a nurse knows about the injuries farmers can sustain, the better care they can give.
As the nurse, when you have a patient in front of you, just to know what's happened to the patient, mechanism of injury, and what accident happened, and then what could be going on with their body, what systems are involved with that type of mechanism of injury.
Because they operate heavy-duty equipment, farming injuries can be complicated for healthcare providers.
On a tractor rollover, there could be multiple systems of somebody's body involved, from a head injury to orthopedic spinal cord injury to internal crush injuries for like hemorrhage and stuff. So if you understand what's happened to the patient, you might have a better understanding of how to take care of that patient.
The Winnebago, Stevenson, and Rock County Farm Bureaus donated money to help put on the training. Reporting for your home team, I'm Dylan Saraki.
A farm in Poplar Grove that's open to the public for the last 56 years is doing things a little differently this year. Edwards Apple Orchard opened for the season this morning. Because of COVID concerns, they're using a drive-through system only. Cars wind their way through the grounds so visitors can pick up their favorite fall treats. One visitor we talked to says he's never missed an opening day and wasn't going to let the pandemic keep him away.
I'm excited because I'd like to come here for their apple donuts and their apple cider, and that stuff is really good.
Edwards says if health conditions change later this fall, they'll consider opening the farm and barn to shoppers. Hurricane Laura has eased up and is now a tropical depression, but it left behind a trail of destruction.
That includes at least 13 people dead across Texas and Louisiana. This is some of the aftermath. Roofs have been ripped off. Buildings just turned into piles of rubble. The storm hit as a Category 4 with winds up to 150 miles an hour. Hundreds of thousands of people still don't have power. FEMA's assessing the damage. In the meantime, the agency's handing out food, water, and supplies.
The phrase to walk a mile in someone else's shoes took on new meaning today. People waited in line for hours for Walking Downtown with Heifer. The event was organized by the group Helping Families in Rockford, or Heifer. They collected hundreds of shoe donations in every size and style. Shoes were provided free to anyone in need.
With school starting back, I felt like it was a good idea to have an event like this and get rid of a lot of shoes, mainly for kids, because I had a lot of nice shoes used and new.
The event was so popular, Smith plans to hold another in the future.
Now your first warned weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Doom.
Some strong to even severe storms threaten the state line after what was a mostly sunny Friday today. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for a few counties here in the state line. Up in Wisconsin, that includes only Greene County, and Illinois, that includes Stevenson, Joe Davies, and Carroll counties. This severe thunderstorm watch is set to expire tonight at 9 o'clock p.m. The rest of the state line has yet to see a severe thunderstorm watch issued. We don't really have much going on in the state line right now. We do have a fairly strong thunderstorm now pushing pushing through Joe Daviess County, now starting to inch in to Stevenson County. Just associated with this storm, we do have some gusty winds as well as some heavy downpours and quite a lot of lightning as well. This is tied to this much bigger line of thunderstorms currently pushing through eastern Iowa, headed toward the state line. We've seen some sizable hail associated with these storms, up to about a quarter size or 1 inch in diameter. And we've also seen quite a few severe thunderstorm warnings associated with these storms. You can see all of those have been allowed to expire now. No severe thunderstorm warnings issued for any of these storms at the moment. These storms are forming along this cold front that is quickly making its way through Iowa and parts of Wisconsin as well. And most of the storms tonight will be confined to areas right along this cold front, so we don't expect much outside of the immediate vicinity of this front, other than maybe a few isolated storms behind this front once it moves over the state line. So models are actually in very big disagreement over both the coverage and the severity of these thunderstorms. This particular model that we like to use for our futurecast likes to show most of the storms really breaking apart here as they make their way through the state line. Then whatever storms we do get will likely be out of here by later on this evening, closer to midnight. A lot of the cloud cover that we're seeing overhead is going to clear up overnight tonight. That's going to leave us with some partly cloudy skies for tomorrow morning. They're going to continue to clear up, leaving us with lots of sunshine by tomorrow afternoon. No rain in the forecast to kick off your weekend, and the same goes for Sunday as well. No rain to wrap up your weekend, just lots of sunshine on your Sunday, maybe just a few more afternoon clouds. So the reason that models are in such big disagreement is because we pretty much have all the ingredients in place for severe thunderstorms. We have our lifting mechanism, which is our cold front. We have sufficient moisture down near the surface. We also have a good amount of vertical wind shear. That's winds changing in both direction and speed as you go up in the atmosphere. These are 3 of the 4 absolutely essential ingredients for severe weather. Now the last one is instability. This is sort of a yes and no because we have it in place, but it's actually sitting well above the surface. It's a matter of, can we lift a lot of that warm, moist air high enough to get to that instability and really throw up some pretty intense thunderstorms. So the Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk for severe weather over the state line, with our main concerns being some heavy downpours, some gusty winds, some sizable hail as well. Also lots of lightning associated with these storms. Now the tornado threat, although it is very low, it is considerably low, it cannot be ruled out at this time. Let's have a live look over the Park Hills Golf Course in Freeport using a Mercy Health SkyTrack, where we're seeing lots of sunshine not too long ago, but skies have really darkened up here just in the past hour or so. Temperatures really warm as we still sit on the warm side of this cold front. That'll definitely change though after this front moves past us. 92 degrees the current temperature in Rockford, down to 79 currently over in Galena. We'll eventually drop into the mid 60s for a low tonight, with a lot of this rain clearing up before midnight. Now tomorrow, lots of sunshine, but considerably cooler. Temperatures only reaching the upper 70s to possibly lower 80s. Some gusty winds in there as well in the forecast for tomorrow. No rain for the weekend, however. We do see another chance for rain and a few thunderstorms come late Monday.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Lepper.
It's going to be another night of no playoff games in the NBA or the NHL. The two leagues continue to pause to allow players and coaches to take a stand for social justice. Games will resume tomorrow in both leagues. The Packers were back on the practice field this morning, but first they held a meeting for more discussions on racism and the Black Lives Matter movement. Matt LaFleur says he has a balancing act to do to address social issues while also getting his guys prepared for the season.
These discussions are far from over, and we'll continue to have them, and we've got to be able to balance both being a football player and attack these racial injustices that exist in our country.
All of the Major League Baseball games are on for tonight, including the White Sox-Royals game and the Cubs-Reds game. It's Jackie Robinson Day, so thoughts of racial barriers are even more at the forefront. The Players Alliance, a group of more than 100 black players that includes Tim Anderson of the White Sox and Jason Hayward of the Cubs, announced it will be donating their salaries from the games the players set out the last 2 days in honor of Jackie Robinson Day. The money will go toward programs for black youth. Hayward says he didn't have a problem with his teammates continuing to play ball the other night while he sat out.
You know, I let them know, encourage them, no, go play the game. I don't think the game should be canceled, but I think I have to do what I have to do. And that's another reason that I was out there in the dugout supporting them, because they support me every single day through this.
Well, the Big Ten is now considering starting up a football season the week of Thanksgiving. It would be at least an 8-game regular season played at indoor stadiums in the Midwest. Big Ten officials are more open to playing ball now that the FDA has approved a rapid test for COVID-19 that can produce results in 15 minutes. The Ice Hogs have a 10th player signed for next season. He's forward Christopher Wilkie. He just finished up his college career at Colorado College, where he led the team in points and goals scored. That's sports. We'll be right back.
A few rather strong thunderstorms now starting to push in the state line from the northwestern, now moving through parts of Joe Daviess, entering Stevenson County as well. But this line of thunderstorms that's associated with these storms now pushing into the state line has considerably broken up in coverage just over the past hour or so. And whereas we were seeing several severe thunderstorm warnings associated with these storms, none are in effect for the time being, so they do appear to be weakening. However, these storms do still have some very heavy downpours and lots of lightning associated with them. They also have a history of producing some very gusty winds as well as some sizable hail. Now, we do still have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for parts of the state line. That includes here in Illinois, Stevenson, Joe Daviess, and Carroll counties, and Greene County up in Wisconsin in effect until 9 o'clock tonight. Temperatures dropping into the mid-60s tonight with all this rain gone by midnight or so. We're in the upper 70s to lower 80s tomorrow, and upper 70s sticking around for most of this upcoming week.
Looks like a great weekend. Thanks, Kevin.
And thank you for spending some time with us. Stay safe.